and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unlock some of the hidden dynamics of human connection, and today we're doing that by looking at some really interesting insights from everyday conversations, specifically from recent audio drama excerpts. It's quite a rich source.
Absolutely. Our mission today, really, is to unpack all these fascinating layers. We're talking wooing, new romance, loyalty, even family conflict and secret affairs. It all unfolds in these, well, pretty candid exchanges. We get to see different relationship stages, from the exciting start to deeper long-term stuff. We'll pull out some valuable nuggets, I think.
Definitely. And what jumps out right away, right from the start, is this contrast. You've got friends just chatting casually in pubs, seems normal enough. But then, bam, they dive deep into love and relationships. It's like the pub becomes this spontaneous confessional booth or something.
It really does. The atmosphere shifts.
So let's kick off with what you might call the art of the woo. We meet Jazzer first. His approach to wooing a barmaid is, well, it's remarkably direct. Shockingly so, maybe. Yeah. He just says, "Done, I'm wooed. That was easier than I thought it would be." What do you even make of that?
Well, it's certainly efficient, isn't it? Cuts right to the chase.
Yeah.
And it works in that moment. But what's really interesting is how that immediately bumps up against Martin's view. Martin sees modern courtship as, what was his phrase? A whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, that phrase stood out.
He talks about needing vulnerability, really putting yourself out there, even, wearing a floral shirt when it's not a holiday, all for a woman with flair, good looks, and an ability to make the most of them.
Right, that floral shirt detail. It just screams like deliberate effort, serious intention. So when you put that next to Jazzer's bluntness, what does that tell us about comfort zones or how people even define effort in romance?
It's a great question. This contrast, Jazzer versus Martin, it's not just personality, is it? It really shows how our attachment styles, our self-worth kind of shapes how we approach romance. For one person, being direct is authentic. For another, showing vulnerability, making that deliberate effort, that's the grand gesture.
Huh. So both could be valid effort, just expressed differently.
Exactly. And they tell you a lot about what's going on inside each person.
That's really interesting. Makes you think, maybe we misread effort based on our own ideas. Jazzer's way could be totally authentic for him.
Could be.
But okay, moving on from the initial wooing, Martin's story goes deeper, doesn't it, into new love and how it can actually shift who we think we are. He reveals he's in a new relationship, someone he's known a very long time, mainly through work. And this tension, it's only just surfaced recently, mutually.
Yeah, and this taps into that idea of self-expansion through relationships, how a partner can unlock new things in you, new interests, perspectives, or maybe just reveal parts of your personality that were, lying dormant.
Latent aspects, yeah.
And Martin's questioning, have I changed though? Maybe this isn't the new me. Maybe it's the real me. That's classic.
Classic moment of realization.
Especially after his last relationship with Pam, when he said he was only up for a bit of fun, no more serious relationships for me. Something clearly shifted.
It's a powerful thought, that real me idea. Do you think sometimes we actually need someone else, that right person, to sort of excavate parts of ourselves we hadn't seen?
It often seems that way. A catalyst, perhaps.
And then there's this extra layer with Martin, the secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
This relationship has a conflict of interest. There are those close by who mustn't find out. He says it adds to the fun, but obviously challenges too.
Oh, definitely. Secrecy has the thrill, sure, but it creates inherent complications, boundaries, and it's also striking how he describes her playing hard to get.
Right.
And how he enjoys interpreting the signs. Again, such a contrast with Jazzer's directness.
Total opposite.
It suggests Martin actually likes that game, that chase, deciphering the subtle cues.
Yeah, like a puzzle he enjoys. Okay, so shifting gears from that intricate dance, we get a really different but just as compelling story with George and Amber. This one feels more about loyalty, dealing with past trauma, and looking towards the future with hope.
Yes.
Amber's vulnerability about her past self, feeling judged, reminded of school by people like Brad. It's quite raw.
It is. And then you see George step in with this incredibly powerful affirmation. It's really the healing power of acceptance right there. He tells her, "You're the most gorgeous woman I have ever seen. End of school time." What those girls used to say, none of that means anything. It's all gone.
Yeah.
This is you now. Every guy in here wishes he was sitting at this table with you.
Wow. That's incredibly validating.
It really is. It actively helps rewrite those old negative self-perceptions.
Shows how a supportive partner can be like a mirror, reflecting back something much better. And Amber, her loyalty back to George is fierce. We hear her confronting his other granddad, Neil, because he dobbed him in, and she stands firm. Everything I said was true, and he knew it. She doesn't back down an inch.
No, she doesn't. Her actions just scream deep commitment. She refuses to let these past wrongs against George just stand. But there's a huge immediate challenge. George is in prison.
Yeah.
And his parents assume the worst. They just see him as an ex-con. That's a tough societal hurdle, those preconceptions. Hard to break down, even within family.
Such a harsh reality. But Amber's plan, it's really thoughtful, very practical. Moving into her flat, above the garage, totally separate from the house, on her parents' property.
Smart.
The idea is they get independence, but his parents can see you around. Maybe, just maybe, it'll help them change their minds.
It's quite strategic, isn't it? Acknowledges the reality, but offers a path towards acceptance. It shows her belief in him. And it understands that maybe direct, positive exposure over time can soften those hard views. It's like a quiet defiance.
Exactly. Dismantling those assumptions step by step. And it's not just about the problems, is it? They share dreams too. George wants to start a wicker coffin business, grow subscribers.
Yeah, and Amber immediately jumps in. I'll help.
That shared dream, that entrepreneurial spirit.
It's a powerful bonding agent. Gives them a concrete future to build together, something that goes beyond the immediate difficulties.
Definitely. And then that climax to their story. Pure emotion. George just blurts it out. "Marry me, Amber. Be my wife. I haven't got a ring or anything yet."
Or raw.
And Amber's response, "Yes, yes, yes." No hesitation, just absolute commitment right there in the middle of all the adversity.
It's genuinely heartwarming, cuts through everything else.
Okay, so let's swing back to the pub now. Back to the whispers and speculation around Martin. Tracy notices he's changed, gone from miserable to bringing cakes, being the best boss in the world, even dressing differently.
It's funny how quickly speculation ramps up in places like that, isn't it? A change in behavior is often the first clue, the public signal that something's going on privately. And people naturally want to figure it out.
Oh, absolutely. And then Martin drops that cryptic line to Jazzer, "Women and chocolates."
Right, which Tracy immediately shoots down with, except no one likes a coffee cream. Classic Tracy.
Yeah. But it all feeds the speculation about who Martin's new interest might be. And they land on Lillian.
The theory emerges.
And the evidence they piece together. Lillian asking Martin about pain after his one-on-one writing lesson. All this talk of engaging your core and pelvic tilts.
Which Jazzer immediately interprets in a, shall we say, provocative way?
Yeah, he jumps straight to, sounds pervy, and then what if it's called for actual pervy talk?
Well, beyond just gossip, it shows how easily innocent details can get twisted, right? Especially when there's already a suspicion of something hidden. Jazzer's comment, well, maybe a bit much, highlights how ambiguity gets filtered through this sensational lens. Harmless chat becomes potentially illicit.
And they do connect the dots pretty decisively. Lillian leaving very soon after Martin.
Leading to the conclusion. The heart wants what the heart wants. And I think Martin Gibson's heart wants Lillian.
So what does that potential relationship raise? Especially the need to keep it quiet, especially for Justin, Martin's boss.
Yeah, that brings up the whole issue of professional boundaries versus personal lives. Is there a genuine conflict of interest? Or just the perception of one? Either way, it suggests a situation that could be tricky, professionally speaking. Adds risk to whatever might be budding there.
Definitely adds that forbidden fruit element. Makes it more intriguing, maybe, but also more precarious. That complex dance between private life and public perception. Wow, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from, quick woos and challenging new loves changing identities to these really loyal partnerships overcoming huge obstacles, and even the intrigue of secret affairs simmering away.
What really comes through, I think, is that relationships, all kinds, are these profound journeys of self-discovery. They demand vulnerability. They constantly challenge our assumptions about ourselves, about others, and they often end up revealing the real you,
Yeah.
Those parts you didn't even know existed. And things like communication, loyalty, shared dreams, like we saw so clearly with George and Amber, they're just fundamental.
Yeah.
The bedrock.
Absolutely fundamental. And it does leave you with a final thought, doesn't it? How much do our past experiences, our baggage maybe, and societal expectations, how much do they shape our willingness to actually go for love, especially when it pushes us out of our comfort zone or involves, really difficult situations?
That's a great question.
Right.
And tied to that, how much does playing the game, all that interpreting science we saw with Martin, how much does that really add to romance compared to just direct honesty, clear vulnerability?
Something to definitely ponder. Lots to think about there.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the archers. Any
Are you what we call Foley then?
kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever